All right, cool. So it should be recording now. This is going to be a really awesome special session. Like I said, we have a special guest today who is an expert when it comes to Facebook, whether it's for offline, whether it's for online, but he is an expert. And I know I said this before, but I know this is something our community hasn't gotten too much into. Maybe some people on here have, and if you're doing Facebook currently for clients, or you know quite a bit about whether it's just setting up a regular fan page, actually kind of creating a community and driving sales through that, give me a yes, or even Facebook ads. And these are all topics that we're going to be getting into. The biggest thing, though, is I wanted to do something different, and I kind of wanted to give you an actual view inside Facebook. I wanted Neil, so I asked Neil if he could do some demos for us and actually go inside Facebook, just show us a couple cool things. Let's not just talk today. Let's actually learn some stuff and some things that you can immediately apply. So if that sounds good to everybody that's on here, give me a yes, and also give a hello. If you could just put, hey, Neil, welcome Neil Napier on here. I don't know, some people might already know him. Some people might be exposed to Neil, but Neil is a rock star when it comes to Facebook. And that's why I'm really excited to get him on here, because he's going to show you some inside secrets, some really, really cool things. So give a big hello, give a big warm welcome, and if we're ready, then I'm gonna pass it off to you. I know you've done this really cool presentation here. Hey Neil, how are you doing?
Hey Enrique, not too bad at all, mate. Thanks.
I see. I hope everyone here understands you. I've already gotten used to kind of that British accent, but
I'll talk slow, I promise.
Okay. Yeah, I think we got a quite international crowd here. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited about this. I know you came out with this really cool client closing social media presentation. Some people on here might have even gotten it. So whether they did, whether they didn't, I think this is going to be a good bonus, and you're going to show them some really cool things. So if you want, then you can kind of tell us some inside secrets. Go really deep into Facebook, and we can get this party started.
Sure, we most definitely can. But before I actually go into the juicy details, I got to say a couple of things. One, Enrique didn't tell you guys the whole story about me. I'm also a professional copywriter, and I'll tell you why.
I forgot about that. And actually, we were actually in discussions for quite a bit of time. Actually, that's how we got to know each other. Before I actually even knew that you were doing all this crazy stuff with Facebook, the reason we started talking was because you're, like you said, you're a copywriter, you're an expert copywriter, and it's funny because I think a lot of people on here might not understand kind of the relevance when it comes to actually closing clients, when it comes to preparing material that hits those different psychological triggers and sets it up for the close towards the end. So yeah, you definitely talk about that a little bit.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of my core skills. In fact, in some ways even better than, what I do in Facebook marketing. For me, it's very easy to close clients, and I'll actually talk about that later on in this presentation. Another thing is that Enrique has so often told me about how close-knit this SqueezeMobi community is. And I got to say, guys, to some extent I'm jealous. I mean, the kind of stuff that SqueezeMobi guys are sharing with you and the kind of stuff that you're going out and implementing in the real world, that's awesome. And I can only wish that the community that I grow, or the other communities around the marketing scene, are as good and as interactive as you guys are. So I appreciate all the hellos. I appreciate all the welcomes, and I hope you can understand me, and I hope you're ready for what I'm about to share with you guys. Cool. Now, the first thing is that when it comes to Facebook marketing, there are two ways you can approach it, right? First, you can look at the online marketing scene. Now, there are lots of fan pages and groups about, I love dogs or I love cats or cat videos and cat images. They're all very good. I mean, they work. You can grow a community around them really quickly. But the problem is selling to this community can be a little bit difficult. On the other hand, let me talk a little bit about the offline-based fan pages. Say you go to a restaurant and they have a fan page. You go to your doctor, your local dentist, and they have a fan page. Now, the people around these fan pages are more likely to actually get involved and buy something from the doctors, go to the dentist or go to the restaurant, or do some things locally within their community where they're based. So in that way, the fan page community that is built around that small business is not just a community on Facebook, but it is also a community locally. And they're more likely to be converted into buyers. So really, I mean, this is my first secret. If you want to sell services to, say, your offline clients, tell them this, that, hey, would you like more customers? I mean, these are very simple 5 words that you could use to rope in any potential client that you want. You just go up to them and say, you know what, I can help you. I can help you get more customers. Would you like that? See, no one's going to turn around and say no. Because if someone turns around and say no to that, it means they're not really thinking about their business, right? Now, they'll probably turn around and say, okay, but what's it going to cost me? And we'll come to that later. I mean, you just tell them that, first let me tell you what I do and what I can do for you. And in that, fan page communities are very, very important. Because think about it, I mean, Facebook has a massive user base. You are on Facebook, I'm on Facebook, and everyone we know is on Facebook. And almost every day they log on to Facebook to check what their friends are doing, to see what kind of messages they've got, to see what kind of, I mean, even subconsciously to see what kind of ads they're going to see. No one goes on Facebook saying that, hey, I want to see what ad I'm going to see today. But they do see it because Facebook has implemented it so well that subconsciously people are used to seeing ads. They're used to looking for offers. And again, this is something I'll also talk about, how you can use and how you use this and sell this as a service to local businesses. But let me first talk about fan page communities. And I've got a few links open here only because it makes it easy for me to actually talk about, what you can offer to these people. Now, look at this fan page, for example. It's for a cafe in London called Ace Cafe London Limited. Now, you would think that a local fan page, wouldn't have a lot of people, maybe 200, 300, pushing it to 1,000, and you'll be right. That happens. The thing is, in this instance, here's a fan page that has nearly 53,000 people who have liked the fan page. That means that at some point of them being on Facebook, they've gone to this fan page and they've consciously said that, okay, I'm going to like that fan page because I want to know more about what they do. Maybe the fan page owner behind the scenes offered them some sort of free content or drove them using an ad or whatever, but these people consciously chose to like that page. And because these people did that, the people who signed up, who liked the fan page, are also more likely to go and visit the premises. Because it makes it easy. I mean, this again is basic psychology. That if for example, if you have bought from me once, you're more likely to buy from me again. It's the same with fan pages. If you're on my fan page, and if I talk about a product that I've created or talk about something that I'm offering, you're more likely to visit that and buy the product than if you didn't know me. I mean, that's something you would agree, right? You're more likely to buy something from me if you know me. It's as simple as that. So when you go to a local business owner, when you're trying to sell them on this concept of fan page, fan page management, remember at the back of your mind that once you get someone to like a fan page, it becomes almost 50% easier to actually sell them, to sell that person on whatever product or service you want to sell. Okay, I want you to remember that because then you'll be able to pitch the offer to the local business very easily. Because once you yourself realize how powerful this thing is, once you yourself see how much you can do with it, selling it becomes simple, right? Now the thing is that this page has got 53,000 likes, nearly about 1,300 people talking about it, and 50,000 people were here. So if I push in the numbers here, I mean, it seems to me like there are about 3,000 people who actually haven't been to the premises, but they're still talking about it. So these 3,000 people are people who are most likely going to, at some point, visit this cafe because they've already seen so much information about it, and they're talking about it. right? So that's the important thing, that when you're creating a community around the local business, numbers are important, but they don't have to be super high. It's important that you make that community interactive. So for example, if I'm looking at this page and if I'm browsing around and seeing what kind of content they have, this is my research. I can go into any cafe in London and I can tell them that, hey, you know what, I can offer you my fan page creation and management services. It's going to cost you $500 for the fan page creation now, and it's going to cost you $300 monthly. So does that work for you? Because thing is, when I tell them that I have access to content, the kind of content that people want, or I know the kind of information these people need, and I can do that for you every day. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to pay me this money, and all I'm doing is I'm going to Facebook and I'm creating a community around your brand. And when I create that community, I'm going to promote your services, your offers, your discounts, whatever you're offering to these people. And they're going to come because I'm going to make this hyper interactive, right? And behind the scenes, I just look at this page and see here what kind of information are they sharing, what kind of stuff are they doing. So what is that kind of thing that I can do for those other businesses as well? You know, this is just a small example of like a cafe in London. Let me show you an example of a restaurant which has less likes. You'd actually expect that from a local business. The thing is, a lot of these people are not using tricks that I'm using, and I'll tell you those shortly when I come to advertisement, because Facebook ads are a great way to drive people to these pages, and they're not doing that at the moment. But I'll tell you so that you can go ahead and do it when you're pitching your services to offline and online clients. Now, think about it for a second. 21,000 people have been to this restaurant. Okay, that's 21,067 people. And this page only has 3,341 likes. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a big number. But what does that tell you about the marketing behind the fan page of this restaurant? Sorry, so what can that tell you about the marketing behind the fan page of this restaurant? What that tells me is the fact that they haven't actually done the marketing correctly, right? Because if 21,000 people have been to this restaurant and only 3,000 people have actually liked the page, then either this restaurant started the page too late or they just haven't actively tried to market it. And I'll be honest with you, if that happens, then this restaurant is losing out big time on the potential that Facebook has provided. So I could easily call up this restaurant tomorrow, but I'll let one of you do it. But I could easily call them up or send them an email that, hey, you know what, I noticed that a lot of people do come to your premises, but you don't actually have enough likes, or you don't have enough people who actually talk about you on Facebook, and I think that's a shame. But you know what I can do to remedy that? I can help you create I know you have a fan page, but I can help drive more traffic to it. So let me help you. Let me give you more customers. And I can guarantee you they're not going to say no to that. I can guarantee you they're not going to say, no, we're happy with what we have at the moment. We make enough profit. We don't need any more people. No one's ever going to say that. Your simplest weapon in your selling services to these clients is these 5 words. Would you like more customers? No one would say no to that. Okay, so these cafes and these restaurants, and again doctors, dentists, and all these local businesses are quite an easy sell because they haven't yet been, they're not yet aware of what power Facebook holds. But you are. Okay. Now I just saw a question pop up, but how do you get to the owner? There are various ways you can do that. If you're in the city, go and visit them, talk to the manager, speak to someone. If you're not in the city, find out who you can talk to. Find out someone who can recommend you to that owner. But to be honest, I'm sort of going off track here because that's not the purpose of this presentation, this webinar. I want to emphasize to you how powerful this thing is for local businesses and how underperformed, undervalued it is, and how much you can do to make it big for them. And trust me, when you do that, they will pay you big. That's how a lot of offline consultants make money. All right. So now I've talked about the cafe and the restaurant, but think about it for a second. If I was to go to this Light Bar and restaurant in Shoreditch, how would I actually target people? What kind of people go there? Because the thing is, you could argue that, hey, everyone goes to a restaurant, and I agree with you. Mostly everyone does, but students don't. Old people who are unfortunately in nursing home or can't leave their home, they don't go to a restaurant. It's a very specific demographic that actually goes to these places, right? And that's why I want you to look at very closely at what I'm about to do. I'm about to tell you exactly what kind of people go to a restaurant. Now you might laugh at this again, but if you've listened to me for the last 2 minutes, you would realize I'm dead serious. Not everyone goes to a restaurant. Some people do. And your job as a consultant, as a service provider, is to target these people. Because if you target everyone you can, then you'll waste your money, your time, you'll waste your clients' money and their time. Right? So I don't want you to do that. So let me show you a website called restaurant.com. I think I have that right. Yeah, now restaurant.com is a website where you can get deals on, everyday meals, and you can just say I'm hungry and I'm thinking, where should I go and eat? I can simply go there and say that, okay, the local Italian restaurant is doing a deal today. They're offering buy one, get one free on a pizza. So I can go there with my girlfriend and I can grab a pizza, right? So a lot of people like that go to these websites. But let's find out who actually goes to these websites. And I'm telling you, this is more complex and more intricate than you would first think. So Quantcast.com is a website that tells you the demographic information about the people who visit these websites. Now they use cookies and they track people around the web, so they know they know a lot of information about people who actually browse these websites. So for starters, it'll tell you the kind of traffic it's been getting. So in December last month, for example, there were 1.185 million people who went to that website to look for deals and meals. And that's a big number. That's a big market. Now, let me just go down here and I'll show you US demographics because again, I think they quite often show US demographics because they're easily available and they're, in terms of market size and profitability, they're the best. Okay. Now, I'm going to challenge all the suppositions you had. I mean, you probably thought before you got on this call that, everyone goes to a restaurant and people spend like $20 or $30 per meal, so they're not rich, they don't make enough money, and they just go like once a month or these sort of things. I mean, you don't even know if they're men or women. You probably thought it's equal, right? Or you probably thought it's men because they go out with their friends and they grab a bite to eat and then they go to a bar. The thing is, look at this demographic here. It's mostly females who go to this website, right? And generally now, females are the decision makers in a household. That's a given. I think you can try and argue it, if you're a guy, but it doesn't work like that. They make decisions, we follow. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, it takes the headache of it takes the pressure of my shoulders. They can decide what restaurant to go to, and I'll follow. It's good enough. So, as you can see, this website is mostly accessed by women. And then this website is mostly accessed by people who are above the age of 35, right? So, I mean, I can try and come up with a few reasons why youngsters don't go to restaurants, but the biggest reason would be they don't have the money. They might try and look for a deal, but they know that they can just grab like a really average pizza for $5 from the local corner shop. And I say $5 because in Finland, things are actually quite expensive. I suspect in US you can get a pizza for $3 or $4. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm speculating. Right? So in the US demographics, this is how it works. That a lot of people above the age of 35 go to this website to grab a deal. And a lot of these people don't have kids. And again, I can try and talk about why that is, and I can try and come up with a good reason. Because if you don't have kids, you're more likely to actually say that, you know what, it's just you and me, so we'll just go out and eat somewhere. We don't have to make food for kids. And hey, if you've got kids, then you might most likely want to save some money, so you try and cook every night, right? So you stay in, and that's totally cool as well. Now, the biggest thing is the amount of money that these people, who visit these websites earn. Now, you'd think these people who are going to these websites looking for a deal earn like, I don't know, less than $40,000, $50,000 a year. But look at that number. I mean, it's staggering. The majority is more than $100,000. That's big. Even though these people are making so much money, they're still looking for offers. Hey, everyone's looking for an offer. I'm looking for an offer, and I'm making enough money that I don't have to. That's the point. We target these kind of people to get them into these fan pages, to show them the ads, because they're the easiest ones to sell. I mean, what in marketing we call a low-hanging fruit. If someone's looking for an offer, they will click a like. That's one of the easiest way to entice these people. All right. Now a lot of these people are college, or they've been to college or grad school, and then there's of course the Caucasian or African American. There's this thing as well. You can play around with it all you want. Right. Now all this information is very important when it comes to advertising, and I'll show you exactly how to use this information in advertising. Right. And you can simply take whatever lessons I'm giving you now and pitch and tell to a client that, hey, I can do this for you. I can target people in New York by demographics. And the client would be like, really? Can you do that? How can you do that? Say on Facebook. But don't tell them anymore. What I'm telling you is only for you. It has to remain with you because that's your money maker. That's how you'll be able to charge $300 from every client, or $500 to set up and $300 from every client, and not really spend too long doing it, because that's the aim of the game here as well. I don't want you to become a workhorse. These things that I'm teaching you, you'll be able to do them very quickly. Okay. Now another site like restaurant.com is coupons.com, where people go to find coupons. So similar concept applies, that you can get a coupon to buy anything you want. And interestingly, you'll notice somewhat similar demographics. Women are in command, they make decisions.
Let me.
That we're looking at. Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick, Neil? I want to ask, who on here uses Quantcast? Give me a yes or a no. I just want to get some feedback as well. Who uses? Okay. All right. Couple people actually have. There's a lot of no's. I would say. Okay. Cool. Mostly no's. I would say that's like 65-70% no's. Some people have though. All right, great.
Okay, please use it. I mean, it's one of the best tools of advertising, and it's free. I can't. If you take anything from this training session today, if you take nothing else, just take this. Right now, go and bookmark Quantcast.com website, or write it down somewhere. I mean, put a sticky note and put it like next to your computer or something, because this is one website that can really make Facebook marketing easy for you and your clients. And if it makes it easy for you, you can go out and get some clients if you don't have any, because there's a lot of money to be made by helping out other people, other businesses grow. Okay. Again, I just saw a question pop up. Does it work in real estate too? Yes, it does. Find the biggest real estate site and look for it on Quantcast.com, and you'll realize exactly what kind of people are looking, for properties on that site. Go to usually a lot of websites that are listed on here are big traffic websites, okay? Because they have so much traffic, they can actually track the numbers. It's easy. So look for the bigger websites. With Wikipedia, you won't get much because it's scattered all the way, but look for websites which are targeted, which are in your niche, in your client's niche, and which are heavily trafficked. So there are lots of people going to these websites, okay? I want you to use those because this way you can approach people with affinity. You can approach people who are already looking for something like that. Okay? Now, that brings me to the advertising platform, because it's actually important that I talk about it. Now, let me just let me go there. Yeah. Now, I just want to know how many people. Okay. I'll continue as Neil Napier. But how many people here have used Facebook advertising before? Okay. Here, yeah. No, me, yes. Maybe. No, what's maybe? Oh, okay. Seems like a lot of people have and a lot of people haven't. It's okay. I mean, what I'm about to tell you will make it easy for you to start your first campaign if you haven't already. And if you haven't used Quantcast before, I'll tell you exactly how you can make your campaigns 10 times more profitable than they are now. Okay? So if you do advertising but you don't use Quantcast, you need to listen. If you don't do advertising, you need to listen. If you do advertising and you do Quantcast, still listen, because it'll be interesting. All right, so let me see. Now I'm in the Power Editor mode, actually. You might see it slightly differently. Let me just, because you have to turn on the Power Editor mode and you have to do it in Chrome. So I'm just slightly worried that not everyone can see the Power Editor mode. So just let me go on something which is easier. Okay, I'll go to advertising and I will create an ad. Okay, great. Now this is what most people will see, so I'll go with this. You can try the Power Editor as well, but it's a little more complicated. You know, it's easy to understand once you've seen like some tutorials and once I've actually talked about it, but then the simple one is quite easy to actually follow. Now let's go to a real world example. Okay, before this webinar, what I did was I did my research and I looked at some active and non-active fan pages only because I thought it would take me some time to find those. So just to save you time and me some effort, I went ahead and looked at some of the fan pages. Now let me show you these. That's one, and I'll tell you why all of them are super important for you right now. So imagine a scenario where I or you, for example, have kids and you're going to the local daycare to drop your kid, right? What if I told you that while you're there, while you're at that local daycare dropping your kid, you could make a sale? Would you be interested in that? Would you be interested in just, you know, going to a restaurant and still making a sale while all you're doing is just eating? You know, the manager comes to you asking, hi, how's everything been? Would you like anything else? You say, no, everything's been great, but tell me something. Do you get a lot of customers? Would you like more customers? I mean, would you like if you actually walked out of that restaurant with a sale? I would. That's what I sometimes do. And I'm sure you would too. Okay? So let me just show you. I'll use the example of daycare because I found some good pages that I can show you with daycare right away. Now this daycare has 134 likes, 931 people were here, and 4 are talking about it, right? Again, a very, very under-marketed daycare fan page. Although interestingly, this happens to be the daycare center in New York with the most likes, which you know boggles my mind. It's weird. But I could easily walk into this daycare center and say, you know what? I know you're ahead of the curve with your competition, but I could easily put you like 10 times ahead, and I can. Why? Because I have Quantcast. Because I have these kind of information. Because I'll show you how exactly you can use Facebook advertisement. Facebook ads to get more likes to these pages, build a community around them without spending too much money, right? I mean, one way of doing it is that you know, going into the ad platform and saying that target everyone in New York, target everyone so that they leave their kids at that daycare center. I mean, what if I don't have any kids? What if I'm already registered with some other daycare center? What if these problems apply? I'm not really your ideal customer, am I? So I'm showing you how you can get those ideal customers, which means that you don't end up wasting your money, your time, or you don't end up wasting time or money of your clients, right? Now this is a fan page with 134 likes, and there's another 172 likes. You know, again, only 7 people were here, but there's 172 likes. So they have done something good with their marketing, but it's still not good enough. Then there's one with 12 likes, and there is one with 16 likes. That's not good. That's not very good. And they joined, I think it was, 22nd of October 2012, so last year, right? They've been on Facebook for more than 8 months now, yet they still only have 16 fans. I mean, that's like a couple of fans a month. That's shoddy. You know, you could easily email them or say that, hey, I can drive more people to your fan page. I can create engagement around it. Would you like that? You know, and they would bite because later on I'll tell you a trick that you should use to close more clients, which is what I do as well with these fan page managements and advertising platforms. Okay, so what I'll do in the ad creator, let me see. What I'll do in the ad creator is I will use this fan page as my landing page. So I'm quickly walking you through, you know, how to actually set up an ad if you haven't done that before. or even if you have, you need to take notice, because I'll use some stuff I got from Quantcast, for example, or other things such as these to actually target these people. So let's say get more page likes, which is what we want in this case. And we're looking at people in the US, in New York, including cities within 50 miles. Now look at this number on the right. It says 7.2 million people. So there are 7.2 million people in New York, in the United States, who are on Facebook that Facebook has recognized, and they're about the age of 13 to 14, and they're all men and women. I mean, they've included everyone, basically, because that's what Facebook wants. They do want your money. So if it was up to them, they would give you untargeted ads, and they would give you really expensive ads. But they have also given you tools to make it easy, right? And if they haven't, I can, Quantcast is one of the tools that is outside of Facebook, but you can still use it, all right? So I'm looking at United States, I'm looking at New York, and I'm looking at interest, right? What kind of people would actually put in their child to a daycare? I mean, think about it for a second. What kind of people would have young kids who they want to put into childcare, or childcare like daycare rather? Because it would be people who work a lot, right, and who are parents. So let's try that for a second. Parenting, or they are a parent. Now it says 13.2 million audience. Let's see. Wow, that's a big drop. From 7.2 million people, we are suddenly down to 260,000. Right? These are the people who have at some point precisely said that they talked about parenting or their parent. So let's also target mother and father and sort of infant, because they probably talked about the infant child, or, something like that. Get into the minds of these people and really understand what's going through their head. Just understand that what kind of things are they talking about on Facebook, right? So maybe some even are talking about childbirth. I mean, it's possible, right? They're discussing that I'm going to have a baby soon. They'll probably need these daycare services. So I'll stay with this. Okay, not good one. I'll stay with this, and in the end, I've got 1.2 million people within my range. That's still quite a lot, right? But from 7.2, I've come down to 1.2. That's about a sixth of the value that we had before. So you basically now, if you were going to spend $60 on these ads, you're now only going to spend 10, because your customer demographic is 1/6, right? And it's super targeted. Super targeted. And yes, if you're wondering what kind of people would need daycare services, someone mentioned toys. And that's right. Let's go for toys. And I'll show you something interesting here. Let's go back on Quantcast.com. And do you know Toys R Us? I mean, Toys R Us is a big website. I haven't skipped the years. I'll come back to it. I just do things randomly. Okay. So Toys R Us are something. It's a website that a lot of kids lots of parents would go to buy toys for their kids. And the reason I haven't filtered by the age yet is because I don't actually know what age I should filter for. Okay, so that's the reason I'm here at Quantcast.com looking at Toys R Us. Okay, now I look at this. I mean, let's go back to the ad for a second, and you'll see that at the moment it's just all 13 to everything. That's right, it's very, very untargeted. Instead, look at this page. A lot of people between the age of 25 to 44 go to ToysRUs.com to buy toys for their kids, to buy things for to buy things for the young ones, right? So that's our demographic that we're aiming for. I made it hyper targeted. Okay, so I'm going to put those value in 25 to, let's see, was it 44? I think it was 44. Yeah, let's just check. 25 to 44. Yeah, and again, check it out. More women go to ToysRUs.com website than men. I mean, is that a surprise? Again, we're talking about sort of, decision makers, but here you have to make up your mind. So let's say, I'll show you. I click on women, and from 840,000 we go down to 600,000. And that's still targeted enough. If I go to men, then that goes to 240,000. So I'll just stick with women because, they're the more likely demographic to actually buy something. Okay, so already from 7.2 million people, I'm down to 600,000. Okay, you can look for activities as well. Again, look at what kind of things these people do. You don't have to. But already, we have reduced our potential ad budget from whatever, like $60 to less than $6, right? And that's the kind of confidence you should have when you approach a local business. And Facebook advertisement ads, if local businesses have heard of fan pages, like you can see here, they have, a lot of these businesses have fan pages, they have no idea about Facebook ads, and they're scared to do it because they think, oh, it's more work for us, we have to find all this information and we have to do all this. But that's where you come in, because you could easily go to these businesses and say, hey, I can set up these ads for you, right? That will drive people to your page, that will drive people to your website, which would mean you get more customers. For starting, I'll charge you $500, and I can do one monthly strategy session with you, and I can also take care of the ads. And if I do that, then I'm going to charge you, I don't know, $500 flat fee or 20% of the ad budget. You can decide whatever works for you as a consultant. Okay, that's for you to decide. But just know that when you do that, you will potentially be able to target 600,000 people for this particular daycare. You can go even narrow if you want. By all means, do that. I mean, look at that. If I go for baby transport, it actually, okay, the number hasn't changed. But you could take all this information that I'm giving you now and go to a local business with confidence and tell them that, hey, I can do all this for you. Would you be interested in getting more customers like this? And if they say no, we're kind of comfortable where we are right now, you tell them what I'm about to tell you right now. Okay. Now note this down somewhere. If you don't have a pen or a paper, grab it. If you can write it on a notepad on your computer, just grab it. Do something and take a note of what I'm telling you. Right? Right now, I've opened 4 fan pages in front of you. Alright? All these 4 fan pages are for local businesses, local daycare centers based in New York in the US. Right? So I picked the one with the lowest number of likes, with 16 likes, and I compare that to with the one with the highest number of likes, 172. So I can easily go to this business and say that, hey, you know what? The most active fan page for daycare centers on Facebook has 10 times more interaction than what you have. Would you like me to change that? Would you like me to put the balance in your favor? You can do the same thing with a restaurant. Compare, I mean, this is how I do my research, right? If I'm going to pitch this fan page creation and management and advertising service to a local restaurant in London, what I'll do is I'll pick the best restaurant and I'll pick the restaurant that I want to target. I'll pick the best restaurant and I'll pull out all the stats, create fancy graphs in Excel and whatnot, and I'll create a report and I'll show it to them that, hey, you know what? You've only got 100 people talking about you on your page, but this restaurant has got 1,000. Would you like more? Would you like more customers? Because I can get you more customers than that restaurant. Because I've got the secret tactics and strategies that you need. And I've already shared all these secret tactics and strategies with you. And that's how I close a lot of clients. I'm confident about it because when I take that, information, I can easily just, okay. When I take that information, I can easily go to a local business and say to them that, hey, you know what, I'm ready to do this for you. That there are pages which have far more customers than you have, therefore they have far more interaction, and I can do the same thing for you, right? And that's how you pitch to these clients. And I think someone just asked me, how many customers can you get me? What if a local business asks that? Tell them, I don't know. How many more customers would you like? How many more customers would you take to make your business more profitable? Just tell them that.
And it also really depends on budget, right?
Sure.
You kind of start out small, test it out, do a little bit of testing with Facebook ads, and then kind of scale it up once the business sees that they're getting results and things like that.
Exactly, but I can't talk more about that. I mean, I think I have to cover another thing, but I'm running out of time. But this is the kind of information that I do talk about in my training program. But it's just that right now I want to cover one more thing before I go.
Sure.
I'm going to go soon. So instead, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk with you guys about. That say that if you were able to, sorry, just let me get my words right. If you were able to create all that fan page content in one day instead of spending 30 days creating that content, would you like to do that? Okay, I should really go offline. But anyway, so if I could tell you that you could create a fan page in a day, and then another day you could add a content for a month, and you're getting paid $300 for that. I mean, is that a good bargain for you? Is that something you would like to then do every day? Because I'm about to show you this very, very quickly. Let me just change to this fan page that I created on my, this is my other account. I created a fan page, I love Flip Cup. Flip Cup is a drinking game. You know, don't do that. But still, I have to create a fan page because some friend asked me, and we haven't got started in it yet. But what I can do here, if I wanted to create a content now, you know, is I could go onto Google or any other website and find every kind of information I need to find about this, right? Put it in a notepad or put it somewhere in Excel, wherever I can, all the images and everything, put it in one place and do this in like 3-4 hours, and then start importing everything into Facebook. And here's how you can schedule your posts ahead of time. This is something a lot of people don't know, because they think that, oh, it's a fan page, I have to post it every 5, 6, 8 hours, and you know, I can't be up at like 2 o'clock in the morning posting on a fan page. And you're right, you can't, you shouldn't. I mean, it's really bad if you end up doing that. So what I'm about to show you is a quick and cool method of how you can, I mean, you know, finding and creating content is easy. But the biggest problem is actually posting it online and doing it every day. So all you need to do is, I'm just going to add like a test post, or let's say I really love Flip Cup. Okay, I really love Flip Cup, and say I want to schedule this say for tomorrow. So I'll say I really love Flip Cup. If you do to share this post, and say a picture of a cup or something like that. Right. So if I want to schedule this post for tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll create on this icon here, which looks like a clock, and I will add a year, which is 2013. Month is, let me see, June. Day is, I think it's 30th tomorrow. And hour, let's say I want to schedule it for 1 o'clock my time, because it picks up my time. All right. I've done this, and I can say schedule. It's done. I'll close this, and I'll schedule another for, say 2013 June, again 30th, and hour, let's say this time it's 3 o'clock in the night, right? I can't be bothered to get up because I know that some of my community lives in the US, or they live in like Asia or something like that. So to get their attention, I will schedule this post as well. And it's done. Okay, it's GMT plus 3 o'clock in the morning. That's fine, I'm done. And this is how I create a lot of content, and I schedule in a lot of content really, really quickly. So what I'll do is I'll go to google.com, and I will say, let's find an image of, in this case, Flip Cup. I'll go into images, and I'll take one of these images, you know, like these memes which work really well, or I'll get one of my outsourcers to create one for me, which is actually really good because then you can reuse it quite often. And if you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can, like, say you're working for one of these fan pages, right? You're working for these local businesses and you're creating a fan page on daycare. You could easily take one of their generic images, because it's publicly available information. You can easily take one of these images, or you can even use the link that they've linked to and bring it back into your fan page, right? And one way to know that you're bringing in good content is looking at images that have lots of likes and comments. Like these images have 14 likes, right? Of course, this is a branded image, but you know what works. So you could easily take an image like, say this. I mean, you can see kids are baking, and you know, it shows that kids are doing fun stuff. You could easily take an image like this, and you could caption it with your local business name. Make sure you have rights to the image and all those things. But you could easily do that, and that becomes a really good share-worthy content, right? And that's what I'm trying to tell you, that creating content for these Facebook pages, I mean, it's really easy. Scheduling them can be problematic, but if you have time to do it, like in one day, I mean, sometimes it takes me even less. Sometimes it takes me 4 or 6 hours to do all of this, and you know, I charge much more, because I say that I'm more experienced, I can bring you more engagement. But when you're starting out, start out with $300 per month. I mean, I think that's a reasonable rate in terms of pricing. Okay, So that's what you should do to generate interaction. Someone just said, what about responding to comments? Do it, but charge more. I mean, you're charging $300 to create 90 posts for them in a month. But tell them that, hey, if you want me to interact on your page and actually, get more hyperactive, then it's going to cost you a bit more. I mean, for every day, I'll have to charge you like, I don't know, $20 or something. But it'll be worth it, because when I interact and when I comment and when I communicate with people, they'll come back for more. They'll share the content with their friends as well. And that's how you sell Facebook marketing services. E, what do you say to that?
All right, great. I think I think people really liked the session, and and I'm really happy. I kind of want to, guys, before I do want to do one big and important thing. All right, so let me get some feedback from everybody first. I hope if you're pretty excited about Facebook, then give me a big yes, and let me grab right now the screen and show you guys something really, really cool. Let me become the presenter. 1 second, guys. All right. Give me a sec. Cool. I will make myself the presenter, and let me just make sure that you guys can see my screen. Let's see. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? Okay. All right. Cool. You see the presentation? All right, great. So, because we have something really, really cool. If this is kind of exciting to you, then I don't know. I hope most of you saw what our emails were that we've been sending out. But basically, Neil Napier got together, and I was really excited about this, his client closing presentation that I ran people through actually on Thursday, and I'm just going to run you through it real quick and show you exactly what it is. But basically, you capture the it's specifically structured for these business owners, and so you could set it up for the close. You capture the business owner's attention with some statistics in the beginning, run them through some about us, our team. You can even put your clients in there, and then it doesn't only go through how to build a Facebook community, going through all of that and actual strategies. It gives it kind of step by step, and that's one of the things I was really excited how Neil actually structured this, and how you should structure your presentations when you're presenting to local businesses, because you want to give them value. You want to leave them with a very good taste in their mouth, that even if, and this is a possibility, does happen, even if you're not able to close that client because maybe it's just not the right time, they have received a ton of value, and when you ask for referrals, of course, they're going to be very excited to give you referrals. So it goes through kind of some sneaky tricks as well. And then you end it off with a case study and some next steps, a summary, so that you can actually give them the next steps, the blueprint to how they build their Facebook community and how they actually drive customers and build their brand as well. Including as well, the section number 2 is Facebook advertising. So once again, going through those demographics, going through these ad campaigns and how they can use promoted posts, how they can use embedded call to actions through different case studies, as well as a summary, and then we go to Google Plus. Once again, same type of structure. Hey, capturing that business owner's attention. If you put something like this slide, give me a big yes if you think a slide like this is going to impress and position you as the expert authority figure just with this slide. If someone sees this graphic and this graph, this chart, that they're gonna be, okay, it's time to pay attention. The person sitting right in front of me is going to have some concrete things to say, and I need to start paying attention. And that's exactly how this is set up. and through Google Plus segmentation, in a couple of steps, how to actually dominate Google Plus as the local business. Another case study, a slide where you can put your case study as well, along with the summary and next steps. But when you're talking about social media, this is not it. You also want to talk a little bit about YouTube, and you want to talk a little bit about Twitter in the exact same format. And the other cool thing that that Neil put in here is he actually put in a script. So if you look down here, I just want to show this to you guys, okay? You have basically 2 bullet points you want to cover when you're talking about this slide. Right here, you have a couple more bullet points. That was just the introductory slide. Right here, same thing with Twitter stats. You have the data sources, and you pretty much now know exactly what to tell this business. And that's something really cool that Neil put in here. So if you're going to be running people through this presentation, you don't necessarily want to run them through this entire presentation. It's over 80 slides, I think 89 slides in total, along with the upgrade. You want to split it up. You want to maybe just start with Facebook communities, and Facebook ads, especially with all the stuff that you learned today, and then you end it off with a comprehensive social media package. And then offer them some services. Already these services that you can offer them as a part of your package. Now, if that sounds pretty exciting, okay, I would just want to get a big yes, because I'm going to tell you exactly what Neil has prepared for you, and I want you to listen up, because we have some really, really limited bonuses along with this. And not only that, but as well, and I don't know exactly by how much, but I believe that the price on this, on just the main presentation, that's about 40 or 50 slides, it's going to go up, it's going to triple, and I think it's around like $8 or so, or $9 or so right now, and it's going to triple tonight. So I just want everyone in here to get in on this, and we prepared also some kind of really cool bonuses, including if you get the main presentation, you get all of these bonuses, including basically our infographics, more infographics that position you as that expert, that authority figure, whether it's with Facebook, whether it's with Twitter, whether it's with YouTube, but as that social media consultant. So that's pretty big. Number 2, though, if you get the upgrade presentation, so the basic presentation covers about 40, 50 slides. The upgrade, you get all of those notes. You get that exact script that I showed you in those note sections. That's with the upgrade. Number 2, you get pricing strategies with slides in there, so you know exactly how much to charge. You get some more case studies, some cool things like that. So I highly recommend that you also go with the upgrade. But we have also a special bonus for that OTO, which is this social media presentation, which is our very own that we released, that's closed off right now. You can't get it anywhere else. But this social media presentation, that's also 63 slides that you get, so that now you have 2. You can basically get the if you like some things from this one, you could take the best of both worlds. And like I said, this one is closed off, so you get that as a part of the upgrade offer. And if you get in, this is really cool. The second upgrade is you try it out for $1, and you basically get in on a, I think, 5 or 6 week course where Neil takes you in depth, basically what he did today, but much more in depth through the entire kind of Facebook client closing system. And then there's 2 payments later on of $97 more. So I think in total it's going to be $195 for that course, but you get to try it out for just $1. And if you get in on that, then we're giving away these Facebook fan gates, so that you can also have, you can deliver. You can not only just be able to sell businesses on this, but you can deliver with these fan gates. You can sell them to businesses, and great, now you have all 9 of these fan gates. So with that being said, I want everyone who hasn't gotten this just yet, go to SqueezeMobi.com/social-closer. Abhi, if you could put it as well in the chat box and get in on this presentation. Maybe you got in on the presentation, but you haven't gotten on the upgrade offers. Get in also on the upgrade offers. They are pretty powerful. You get all the infographics, the presentation notes, the pricing, case studies with that that first upgrade offer. It's really good stuff. And like I said, Neil, I think you're raising the price, right, a little later today. So I recommend that people kind of get in on it right now.
That's right. The price on the software goes to 27 at midnight tonight.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you know, and I kind of want to open it up, and we do have. I'm gonna at the end of this webinar, I'm closing down the bonuses because we are already out of bonuses, but I'm just opening it up specifically for people on this webinar. So once that's over, then these bonuses are going to be closed off. And Scott said this is really laughable for the price. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's see. Let me see who is in on not only the presentation, but basically the presentation. I want to see who's in, who's not in yet, and what questions do you have for Neil. I'm going to open it up now, the floor, and we're going to have a no holds barred Q&A. Okay, so let's see. I want to see if there's any questions. All right, I already bought in your previous email. Great, Jack. Jack's already in on this. It was really a no-brainer. I see a lot of people already got in on this. Okay, so if there are no questions, is everyone on here? Give me who did not get in on this yet. Let's see. All right, Kathy didn't. All right, Doug. All right, Kathy and Doug. Now, Barry had a really good question. Okay, Barry had a really good question. George is saying, how much are the OTOs? So the social client closer, the basic one is, I think, about like $8 or $9, right? Right, Neil? And the extended package is about, I think, 26 or so.
Yeah, I think I think it's hit its peak at $9.95. So really, we eliminated that because, I mean, I still want you to get value from it. The thing is, don't wait till after midnight tonight, you know, because if you do, then it'll be expensive. I mean, it'll be still worth the value.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just jumping in there. Because Charles and Jürgen have closed, I mean, Charles messes on this webinar that he's closed, I think, 14 clients already. I mean, let's assume for a second that he's even closed them at a very basic price, which is $500 a piece, which is not, I mean, he's actually closed them in monthly retainers. So, you know, if you could do that as well, then even 27 is justifiable. But I would really say don't wait till it goes to that price.
I completely agree, and I know Charles is actually on this webinar. Charles said I think he even closed a couple more clients. Scott said the thing closed a 5,700 transaction for me 4 hours after I bought without even editing a single slide. And I know Scott has been getting results from quite a bit of our products. I'm happy that Scott is a part of our community. But basically what I want to drive home, that was one of the things that got me really excited was, hey, if you're going to break into social media, this is the perfect way. Whether you're doing social media, whether you're not, this is what you need to do in order to get into social media and to start closing these clients. Now, and the biggest thing is people are getting results. That's my biggest thing, and it's because the presentation, honestly, I mean, if you don't have the confidence, fear no more, because now you don't need any confidence. You have that exact script if you get the upgrade offer, which is just $26, $27, or $28, whatever. I mean, it's a laughable price at just one client that you can get is going to be huge. So the other thing that I want to say is, can you go a little bit more into that 6-week training course and what you're going to be covering in that? I'm going to maybe share my screen and show people that exact kind of sales page, that's so that you can maybe talk a little bit about that 6-week course, because I think that's something that people definitely want to get into, but maybe they don't know enough about it, and yeah. So just give me 1 second, and
Sure.
okay, right here. I'm gonna show this to everybody. All right, cool. Can you see my screen,
Okay.
Neil?
I can, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically,
Yeah.
I know I see there's 6 weeks here, so maybe you can kind of go into just a little bit what they should
Sure.
expect, especially when it comes to basically kind of like the week 2, week 3, a little bit
Sure.
about the retargeting, which is really, really cool as well.
Sure. I mean, thing is that I gotta say that when I was first creating this social client crusher, I didn't know if I wanted to share this information with other people because this is information
It's good
that me and
stuff.
my
It's good stuff.
students. Oh, sorry, but I mean, this is something I'm using every day, and this is something that my students are also using to make a lot of money with sort of selling services to clients. And I've done that before myself, like as a freelancer a long time ago, but now it's a real business. So for me to actually share this information, I'm not going to share this every time. So this offer that you see now, when you don't see it, it won't be there. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to come back and say that, hey, what about that training? So you really have to get it now because, especially with the Facebook stuff, I mean, what you saw today is the tip of the iceberg. That we go so much more deeper. I mean, these sessions are not an hour long; they're easily 2 hours long, because the kind of stuff I show you on the on these sessions, and then we have a back and forth with the questions and answers, it's going to blow your mind away. Because not only will I teach you how to fulfill these services, I'll also show you how to generate leads for yourself, and then how to close them. And closing them is something I do best. Because I have this psychology, this copywriting background, I know just what to say. I know just how to do my market research. I know just how to present the information to make it worth buying for them. And when it comes to Facebook marketing, what I didn't talk about, and we just don't have enough time for it right now, is retargeting. Now, retargeting is very, very new. So let me give you this example. If
And
you go
also
to
the
a new,
power editor,
yeah.
that there's so many changes in Facebook. Now is the time to jump on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the reason I didn't do Power Editor because it'll take me a couple of hours in itself to actually show people exactly how powerful it is, and I will do that in the training course. But I'm sorry I couldn't do it today. But thing is that when it comes to using the Power Editor, the custom audiences, and retargeting, I mean, when I talked about bringing down your budget from $60 to $6, you could easily bring it down to 60 cents. That's how powerful it is. And Facebook has given, I mean, the more complicated a technology gets, the more benefit you can gain from it. Generally, that's the rule. It's complicated to use, of course, but it is more beneficial. So what I want to cover, like in week 3, is sort of doing this, talking about retargeting and talking about how this retargeting campaigns actually work and how you can use this platform called Perfect Audience to create your own. And when you sign up, I have to look if I still have coupons. I think they gave me some coupons for $60 to sign up, and if I have those, I'll distribute that as part of the session. So when you sign up to Perfect Audience, you don't actually have to waste any money. I mean, you basically get it for free, and then they pay you some to use their custom audience feature. So yeah, I mean, that's like week 2 and week 3 where I talk about fan pages and advertisements. And Facebook Apps Mania, I mean, apps are quite new as well. I got to say that when I first found out about them, I was totally amazed because there's a lot of stuff that you can do within Facebook, like collecting leads or promoting offers. There's so much that you can do within there that the profit that you could potentially get from the same subscriber base, same fan base, shoot up through the roof. Imagine whatever you were doing on your own website and bringing it into Facebook. And you can do that using apps. I mean, Facebook is becoming so powerful, and that's the kind of thing I want to show you, I want to teach you, I want to tell you that this is how easy it is. All right? Can I just talk a little bit about week 5 and 6 as well? If you could
Sure.
down, please.
Sure.
Sure. Now, closing clients, I've already told you so many times that, I'm good at closing clients, because I am. I mean, it was in March earlier this year that someone gave me $2,000 even though they didn't know me before. I mean, I've never met them. He was not a client. But he was, okay, well, I was doing some copywriting for him, but I asked him, I said, hey, can you pay me $2,000 for this? And he said, okay. And what I'm trying to say is they're kind of these Enrique, I think a lot of people call them NLP, but there's a lot of these techniques that I use to close clients and to make sure that when I pitch something, they listen. And when they listen, they buy. And that's the kind of thing I want to share with you. You know, I want to share the kind of thing with you where the client says that, hey, what else can you help me with? You know, so you really want clients to be begging for your services. And that's the kind of thing I want to share in this training. And the last thing is outsourcing $1,000 projects for $250. I mean, this is something I've done so often, so much so that I've lost track, and it becomes boring after a while. I mean, it sounds really arrogant for saying so, and I apologize, but you know, when you're getting in a project which is worth $500,000 and you're giving it to someone else to do it for $5, $10, it gets boring after a while. Why? Because you're basically just being the middleman and you're making money while others are doing the work, which is cool. I mean, it is great to be at that stage. And that's why I want you, you know, at the end of week 6, I want you to be at that stage. So when you go in and sign that Facebook fan page client who actually, you know, who gives you $1,000 for setting up a page, I want to show you how you can outsource it and get it done for less than $10. I mean, that's the big ROI. That's a big, big profit margin. Because then you can do the whole cycle again. You know, you can go back to week 1, you can generate more leads, sell them on your services, outsource the services to someone else, and keep the profit margin. So you don't actually doing any work. You don't actually have to do any work. You just close the clients, again, week 5, and you just outsource the work, and you count the profit. And that's the kind of thing that I want to focus on in that training, because that's what I do naturally. I mean, Facebook marketing I had to learn. For closing clients and, you know, sort of sending my stuff over to outsourcers, that's something that I knew and I've known for a long, long time. So that's like the crux of this course, and it's a lot to cover. You know, you get my mind maps. I mean, that's something I haven't openly advertised there because I want that to be, well, I want that to be like an unannounced bonus, but you get my mind maps that I myself use to show, you know, to make sure that everything runs in a smooth process and to make sure that my students are able to make everything run in a decent process as well.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'll share the mind maps with you. I'll give it to you. So yeah,
I'm really excited about it because you know, like you said, I mean, they basically get in on it for, I think it's just $1. And when does the first session start? Is it on Monday? Or is it on Friday?
This Monday.
Yeah, this Monday.
This Monday,
So,
and I'm thinking those who can't make it, I'll do it at a different time on Friday as well. And
Great.
I'll record it, worst case scenario. So
Great.
Email. Check your email.
So basically, you know, before people have to pay that first 97, they get to check out the first session, and they really get into depth on some really cool things. So that's why I highly recommend it. You made it affordable with just, hey, try it out for $1 now, and let's get you those clients in those first couple of days so that you can make that money back and you can invest the rest of your money into the rest of the course. So that's cool, and it's I think 7 days from, right? The rebuild, is it 10 days or 7 days after?
It's 7 days.
Okay, and then the other one is I think a month after that. So you know, I mean, it's a really good value for the money, and I'm really excited about that for our group. All right, so let's see what. And PJ's asking, is the training live? What date does it start? Yes, PJ, it is live, and like we said, it starts on Monday. So I'm really excited, and Neil, I might even be on those training sessions, and I'm
if you pay for it, Enrique. If you pay for it, you can be. Yeah, sure.
and I'm going to take some notes because I know you've been teaching me some things about Facebook that I mean the secrets that you have are really cool. So yeah, I might be sneaking in on those as well. And so if you are, then you guys are going to be right by my side as well. Okay. And that'll be cool. Whoever from the SqueezeMobi community comes in there. So yeah, I think that's about it. Let's see, what other questions do you guys have? Let's see, what other question Are the sessions recorded if we can't make them all? Gary, of course. I'm sure Neil doesn't want you to miss anything at all. And if you and is that I don't know who's kind of jumping in. Is that your mic, Neil?
Sorry, I don't know. I'll turn it off. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so great. Well, let me see what Waldo. Where can you go to access the product? Go to JVZoo. You should be able to access it via JVZoo. And let me show you as well. If you don't know how to access your bonus, log into your JVZoo account. View the details for Social Client Crusher Main or the OTO or OTO2, and you will see all your bonuses there. All right, right there. Down there, you'll see access your bonus. That one was from Neil, from us, from Neil Bosley. All right, and yeah. Luis is asking, hey, could you go over the $5,700 testimonial, how they closed that? Scott just got in touch with us on this webinar, so I actually have not talked to him. I have no idea how he closed that. He just pinged us when he got on this webinar. All right, so he did not tell anyone about that before. I know, Neil, if you want to go into a little bit, I think you talked with Charles and Jurgen. Is that correct, Neil? And if you want to, I don't know if
sure, that's right. Yeah,
if they told you how they actually went about their closes and what they did, but if you want to share that with people, I think they would maybe appreciate that.
Sure. I mean, the problem is that if I actually, if these people start telling me how they've been closing, then I would know their secrets as well. And, a lot of people keep these secrets guarded, which is completely understandable. I mean,
okay,
I can
so
tell you,
if Charles and Jurgen, I mean, if they asked you not to really share too much about it.
I don't feel comfortable sharing. I mean,
okay.
That's why I'm happy to share the way I do it, but not other people, because their information is theirs, and I don't have any rights to it.
Cool. I completely understand that. And well, Charles said Charles is okay with you sharing it. So and I know okay. I see what Charles is saying. What Charles did, and I think because I know he pinged me a little bit about it too. He actually drove these people to a webinar, right? He has a webinar, I think, every single week that he drives his local clients to, and he just instead of doing something that he was planning to do, he threw your presentation up and took them through the presentation. And I think it got him, I think 2 or 3 closes live on the webinar, if I'm correct, for $2,000 each, and then $500 recurring. And I think he still has a couple in the pipeline as well, which is cool. And from last count, I think he had 3 closes from that, but correct me if I'm wrong, Charles, as well. Okay, so yeah, some really cool stuff. Linda's asking, is it easy to edit the slides? Of course, it's in PowerPoint. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Some of of course, the graphics that's a little different, but otherwise the slides are really easy to edit.
I got to say something here. Sorry, just jumping in. So the bonus webinar that we have on Tuesday, I will actually show you how to edit these slides, because that's something I want to cover as well. I mean, a lot of people have told me that, hey, if I want to add my own content, can I? I'll actually show you how you can go around and edit these slides to suit yourself better.
Yep. And May's asking, how do you use this for on a webinar? May, that would be an entire additional, I think, 1-hour session. But that is something we'll consider kind of covering a little more, and maybe potentially kind of a little later as well. So Charles, okay, I'll just share that with everyone. I'm not even gonna say that, Charles. You're a monster. I love it. All right, guys. So does anyone have any more questions? Who did not get in on any of these? I hope every single person got in on everything on this, whether it's the first presentation, the upgrade, or the training. I really hope everyone got in on everything. Who did not? Because because I would be kind of surprised if you didn't. It's just a really freaking awesome deal. Um, let's see. McDonald's. For Farouk, maybe I can get that to you. I will see what I could do. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. 1 second. Okay. Great. All right, guys. All right, guys. I am going to probably sign off in a second. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Saturday. And I will see you. Guys, by the way, I did want to also say at, let me see. Farouk, I will send that to you. And actually, when are you having the session, Neil? On Tuesday?
Sorry, yes, it is Tuesday.
And what
Tuesday,
time is it?
I believe it is 1 p.m., but let me just have a quick look and I'll get that to you.
Okay, that's the bonus training. Just because we're going to be doing a webinar there, so I want, since a lot of people from our group, we're going to be doing a huge webinar. We have a huge announcement on Tuesday. It's an emergency session, especially for anyone that got in on WP Lead Explosion. And we might have to shift that around before we send out the invite for everybody. Okay, so I just wanna kind of make sure that we don't confuse those two.
Okay.
Is it at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, 3 p.m. Yeah, I just saw it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
be on the lookout for an email from me, guys, please, and I will let you know when that webinar on Tuesday. That's our webinar. That's not going to be Neil. Neil already has this webinar set for Tuesday, but I will let you know about our webinar as well. That's going to be on Tuesday, okay? But make sure you come to that. There's going to be kind of an emergency session surrounding WP Lead Explosion and a kind of a 5-step plan to make that very actionable. I know pretty much everyone on here got in on WP Lead Explosion, so it's going to be good stuff. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming out. And Daryl, if you could just go, I just highly recommend you just get into it. And basically the offer, I'll just run through it quick. If anyone didn't get it, social client closing presentation that I demoed here, it's really freaking awesome. Over 80, no, actually for this basic offer, it's about 40 to 50 slides at $9.95. The extended package has infographics, more slides, the script, everything for approximately, I think, $26, $27, $28, something like that. And then there's a 6-week training. That's the upgrade to just $1 to get in on it, and then 2 $97 rebills. But you get the first session, you get to test it out, you get to test drive it completely, plus our very amazing bonus package, all right? So I highly recommend that you get in on it. Gary says, can we use these slides in our own webinar? Of course. That's why you're getting these slides, is so you can get in on them. Get in on it now. I'm closing off the bonus right when we get off this webinar, okay? Just want to let you know about that. So if you're thinking about getting on it now, do it immediately. And please ping me so I can hold a bonus for you. And once again, as well, the price is going to increase to $27 in just a few hours. Okay? So thank you so much for coming out. And Waldo's asking, where can I get access to this? Go into your JVZoo account, right? Right, Neil? It's all on your JVZoo account. So go in there and do that, okay? So
yeah, that's right.
Philip, I will send out an email about that starting tomorrow. All right, so I will make that announcement on when that emergency training webinar is this Tuesday, but you guys need to come to that. That is very important that everyone comes to that. All right, guys, thank you so much, and appreciate it, Neil. Thank you so much for coming out. I think people learned quite a bit. And I'm looking forward to these training sessions that you're going to rock and roll with those as well. All right. So
Cool, man. As long as you pay, it's okay.
all right, take care, buddy. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Everyone as well, have a great rest of your Saturday and the weekend. Take care, everybody.